So what a day in the NBA, but it ends finally with the opening night of the 2024 NBA Finals. After a full week off from NBA playoff action, the opening night of the NBA Championship Series happens on this Thursday evening in Boston, inside TD Garden, between the Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. JY, you have been here multiple times since game number 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Mavs and the T-Wolves came to a close last night. Multiple times since the Celtics swept the Indiana Pacers a week ago Monday in the Eastern Conference Finals. We have looked at the NBA Finals from every single angle. It is finally time to truly break down game number 1 and what we see tonight inside TD Garden. Here are the updated numbers at this moment. A 6.5-point spread in favor of Boston. The over-under, 215 and a hook. JY, you see the spread, you see the total. What do the numbers tell you about how game 1 plays out tonight in Beantown?
Well, the numbers tell you that they think that Boston should be able to jump them right off the bat, but I'm just not so sure. I think this number, Ben, I think it's a little bit high here. It opened at 5.5, moved to 6.5. It's kind of stood at 6.5. I see a pathway where this game is covered by Dallas. I think Dallas is a team defensively that can grind your gears and kind of get after you a little bit. And I do think you have a situation where I think they can keep the game close, if not steal it. So I like Dallas plus the 6.5 right off the jump. When you look at the total, right, and you're thinking about 215.5, and you think about two good defensive teams, I look at the offensive shot making from both sides. I also look at the fact that if I think the game's going to be close, you now look at foul situations, stop clock, advance the ball, more possessions the last 2 minutes of the game. So to me, I like the plus 6.5, and I like over 215.5 in the game tonight. I think there'll be points. I think 220 plus tonight. I think there's going to be some offense.
We take a look at some of the betting stats here from the FanDuel Sportsbook on the way this game is shaping up. 75% of the tickets coming in on the Dallas Mavericks, but yet we still have that 6.5-point line. Coach, you've been around the block, here. Let's take a look at the two teams entering into this environment, because when you're in mode from September, October, all the way through to the end of the regular season, you're playing every few days. You've been engaged, certainly. Now we're taking a look at teams that have over a week off extended break. Is the play expected to be sloppy early on, or are these guys going to be on their P's and Q's right away, rested, healthy, and prepared tonight?
Both. And it really depends on the player. For me, when you look at a team like Boston, I am a little bit – one of the reasons why I like Dallas plus the points is the Porzingis factor. Number one, we don't know if this guy's completely healthy. Let's be honest. And he's basically said, I'm not 100%. Number two is how you're going to integrate a guy that hasn't played since April 29th, right? So to me, that kind of lends me to even as a rim protector, there should be more points there. And then, for a team like Dallas, I think they needed the rest. Having grueling series, having the OKC series go 6 games, for them to get a little bit of break, especially when a team that's so reliant on Luka and Kyrie to get going. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that Luka was not good at some parts, and his game has taken off the last 3 or 4 games. I think the rest is good for them. I think there's points here tonight, guys, and I think, you'll see an up and down game. The chess match, to me, is going to really start after game number 1 when you figure out for Joe Mazzulla, because I don't know if Porzingis is healthy. I don't know how much you can rely on Al Horford. I think Gafford and Lively may be a little bit too long and a little bit too athletic for a guy like Al Horford to defend.
Both of these two teams enter game number 1 of the NBA Finals having gone over in 5 of their previous 6 playoff games. Kristaps Porzingis playing for the first time since April 29th. That was game 4 of the opening round against Miami. His points prop tonight, 15 and a hook. But JY, when we think of the magnitude of tonight's opening game, we start with the Jays, the staples of this core for the Boston Celtics, back into the NBA Finals for a second time in the last 3 years. This group, this tandem, they will be judged by ultimately taking home championship banner number 18 for this Celtics franchise. Tatum's points prop tonight, 27.5. Brown's points prop tonight, 23 and a hook. How important is it for both of these stars for Boston to match the occasion of game number 1 of the NBA Finals tonight?
I think it's very important, Ben, because when you look at these two superstars, they have times where they do disappear. You've seen Jason Tatum struggle mightily. I still think of that 6 for 17 performance in game number 6 versus the Warriors a couple years ago. Jaylen Brown, who's been really good. They need those guys to step up because I've always thought going to this series, Ben, I thought that Luka and Kyrie were going to outperform Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So to me, it's how close can Brown and Tatum be to Luka and Kyrie? Because I think Luka and Kyrie are going to be absolutely dynamic in this series. So it's important for them, and it's important for a good start for those guys because, especially for Tatum after Game 6, the last thing you want to do is go 6 for 17 Game 1, Ben, and now you're already having doubts going into Game 2.
If we're taking a look at some other players on the Boston Celtics, the key ingredient here is this is a very good team getting back a quality player, a guy that's averaging 20-7 in the regular season. That's Kristaps Porzingis. We take a look here at the FanDuel Sportsbook, Coach. 15.5 is his points prop. Number one, how long do we think he plays tonight in the starting lineup, and how effective will Kristaps Porzingis be?
I would be looking at the rebounds more than anything with KP. I know that's why I've been on this network talking about it. I think he leads the series in rebounding because of his ability to be around the basket. I don't know right off the bat about his scoring. That's something I'm going to have to look and watch in game number 1. I think Derek White is someone also we have to take a look at and see what he does offensively because he's a guy that can stretch the floor. On the other side, I keep looking at P.J. Washington, guys, and that's a guy's points props at 11.5. I like that a bunch of. I think FanDuel has it for the 10-plus points every game. This is a guy that's gone over 6 straight games versus Boston. I think every time it's in 14 or more. I really like 11.5 points to go over for P.J. Washington. I can't touch the threes because it's too much juice. 11.5 plus points for P.J. Washington tonight.
Double digits for P.J. Washington and all 5 against Minnesota. In fact, he has reached double digits in 10 of the last 11 games for the Dallas Mavericks. We'll talk about Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving on the other side and some finals predictions up next here on the early line on this Thursday on SportsGrid. Might be the last time we have JY on the program before he joins the staff of Shaheen Holloway at Connecticut for the UConn Huskies. More coming your way next. Game number 1 of the 2024 NBA Finals tonight in Beantown inside TD Garden between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. JY, in our preview of the series overall, it's been pretty easy to share why if you have belief in Dallas, it starts with Luka Doncic. You add in the dynamic duo that was Kyrie Irving for Dallas in the Western Conference Finals against Minnesota. That's your path. If they can outplay the Boston Celtics almost single-handedly between the pair, that's how Dallas ends with his second NBA championship in 3 NBA Finals appearance in franchise history. So when you look at Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving for tonight, 31.5 is the points prop for Luka. 23.5 is the number for Kyrie Irving. What does Dallas need out of this duo in terms of offensive output if the Mavericks are going to steal Game 1 on the road?
50 combined points. No matter how you slice it tonight, 50 combined points. And what you need, guys, is I need Kyrie to not wait. I need Kyrie to be ultra aggressive from the jump. You have seen, I know we've talked about I've talked about this term all the time, first side, second side of the floor. And I need right off the bat a guy like Kyrie Irving to be willing to shoot the ball and try and go off early. One thing that's interesting enough, Kyrie's points prop for the first quarter is over 4.5 points at minus 118 right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. And I think that's something I'm going to look for. I'm going to look for Kyrie to be a little bit aggressive because if you look at it, if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm putting Luka Doncic on the first side of the floor with Drew Holiday, hopefully engage a second defender. Then I throw it to Kyrie where I think he's got as much or a better mismatch offensively against Derek White and try to get Kyrie going. Because he's in Boston, because of the hatred, because of how they're going to treat him, I think it's important for him to get going early, get him a couple of shots, and let him relax. I like Kyrie Irving first quarter over 4.5 points.
Take a look at this series and the prices here. The Boston Celtics to win the series, Coach, at a minus 225 price. If we're taking a look at that spread on the series, the Boston Celtics a minus game and a half, and that's at a plus 106 price. Are we looking at an extended series? And also, more importantly, who ends up winning the series and hoisting the trophy?
Donnie, I am not changing my pick. I came on this show right after it happened, and I said Dallas in 6, and I'm sticking to it. My mother, like I said, my mother was saying, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. Dallas in 6 games to win this series. People are talking about Dallas in 7, Dallas in 7. I don't see a path of them winning a Game 7 in the TD Bank Garden, even though I think Luka Doncic can single-handedly put them on his back and do so. Too much of a heavy lift. I think this is 1-1 after 2 games, and I think this is a 6-game series. Dallas Mavericks win the NBA championship.
The Dallas Mavericks to win the NBA Finals in 6 games, 4-2, is plus 550. It is the shortest correct score in that market for the Mavericks to end as a champion. The 3 shortest prices, though, all see Boston winning in 5, 7, or 6 in that exact order. So, JY, if we looked at game number 1 of the 2024 NBA Finals tonight, if you had to dwindle it down is the right word. If you had to dwindle it down to a best bet, what is your best bet for the opening night of the NBA Finals in Boston tonight?
P.J. Washington over 11.5 points is my best bet. I think he has a game. If you want to look at it, maybe an alt, depending what it is, for PJ to get you 15-plus points, that'd be something I'm intrigued at. That's plus 210 right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook because I think he's going to have to be the third guy. I think P.J. Washington's going to have a sneaky good series because I think at times Tatum can get lost defensively. That corner 3 pocket, left corner, is going to be wide open for him.
2.5 made threes. That's P.J. Washington Jr.'s 3-point prop tonight. He has been great from deep for Dallas throughout this series. The under the heavy juice at minus 220. He is minus 230 to make at least 2 threes in game number 1 of the 2024 NBA Finals. JY, as always, we appreciate the time. You stay on the phones. You keep contacting the Hurley family, and you figure out if Dan is on his way to L.A. I don't care about Woj. I don't care about Shams. We need a new breaking news insider into the mix. And could it be our coach, J.Y. James Young? J.Y., as always, thank you. A fadeaway to the break ahead of game number 1 of the 2024 NBA Finals tonight.